should be showing something, but I'm not. What's going on here? Stream. There we go. Why did that take several seconds? This is not the Ryan and Matt show. Okay, so I realized I had the Matt and Ryan chat rather than what this actually is. It's Ollama Techno Evangelist. I got about 45, about 30 minutes before I gotta go. It is my daughter's last day of pre-kindergarten, so I'm hoping that this is not one of those places that does the whole cap and gown crap if you're not in high school. But if it happens, I will be annoyed. But anyway, hey, what topic? I don't know. I was getting ready to do I was starting to script out a video. Um, and about monitoring on Ollama, or monitoring Ollama, which I think could be a really cool topic. Unfortunately, the answers aren't really good right now, and the more that I was writing it out and planning out what I would be covering, the more I'm realizing, well, there isn't anything. Oh, voice is extremely. You are right. I'm not sure how that happened. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Sorry about that. Oh, yes, very quite much better. Okay, good. Um, Way better. Cool. Hopefully, I didn't blow anyone's ears out after they cranked up the volume and then. But yeah, so I started looking into monitoring of Ollama, and we don't really have any good choices. And I was really hoping for better. I know that about 2 months ago, somebody on the Discord said that said that they. Oh, what kind of monitoring? Well, I whatever I can get. So, I used to work for a monitoring company. I used to work for a company called Datadog, and they have all sorts of integrations with lots of different tools, and they even have AI or LLM integration, but it's really just with OpenAI and not OpenAI API, but I mean purely OpenAI hosted. Oh, my chat got disconnected. Interesting. I don't know what happened there. Tracing and logging, kind of, but I don't know if there's logging, but then there's also I was hoping for like the pure metrics, and I'm not really sure what those metrics should be, but there really isn't an option on the server side. There are a couple of options on the client side. Somebody recently did a PR for documenting how to work with. I think it's either OpenLit or there's two libraries that I've seen that both do open telemetry to a place, and then that can get forwarded on to something like a Datadog. But those are both on the client. So assuming that you're writing a client, you can put that into your code and then submit data to OpenTelemetry and onto Datadog, but there's not really anything on the server side, and I was kind of bummed by that. And so there was somebody a few months ago that said, oh, well, if you recompile or compile from source, and you go into the Llama CPP code and change metrics endpoint, I think it is, to true, and then build that, you get this metrics endpoint, except I can't find where that metrics endpoint is. I don't know if anyone has any experience with this, but maybe I should say that is the topic. Metrics. Oop, that's not the right thing. Monitoring Ollama. Not and talk to metrics. Cool. So let me change the title of this stream. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I didn't see a way to do it on the server side. So, yeah, there was this metrics endpoint. You're setting it on the Llama CPP server service that Ollama is wrapping around. But I couldn't get it to work. I kept struggling with it, and I just couldn't get that to work. There seems to be some stuff that you can get if you're using NVIDIA. I'm not, so I can't even try. I mean, I guess I could spin up a cloud instance with some sort of NVIDIA stuff on there. Now, if you purely care about the code that you're writing to write an application, then yeah, that anything you want you can do. You can pull it up. So, what kind of data could be logged? Well, you could just. I mean, one thing that's super easy. I'm just sticking with Datadog because that's where I was for 8 years, and that's what I did. But there's under in the .ollama directory /logs, there's server log, server 1, server 2, etc. And it cycles through. I'm not sure which one, if there's a rule about which one is the most recent updated, because it's not always server log. It's sometimes server 5.log that is the most recent, which is super annoying. But once you have those server logs, you can go into the Datadog, where was it? Agent configuration, and I ended up having to create a config. I think I saw it Ollama logs.d, and under that a config.yaml that just says, okay, grab all the files in the .ollama /logs directory. And anytime there's a new update, it gets submitted and ingested into Datadog, and you can do some filtering there. And if you want to get a lot of data, you would set Ollama debug = 1 as an environment variable. And then you get a lot more data. Not sure if there's a performance impact on that. There's potentially, I think there's, at least earlier there was some extra, all the prompts and the answers were in the logs. I'm not sure if that's still there, because some people didn't want that in the logs. Yeah, so I wish I had a better answer, and that's why I thought, oh, maybe this kind of video kind of sucks, because I don't have any good things to say. As I say, there's these two. If you want to do it on the client side, there are these two frameworks or libraries that you can use to send data to whatever monitoring platform you want to use. Yeah. So really, until Ollama turns on a metrics endpoint, it's not really a great solution. Now, that said, you could have a proxy, set up some sort of proxy service, a man in the middle. I think there's MITM proxy, man in the middle proxy, and there are plugins for that. And so you could create a plugin for MITM proxy that will extract all the metrics that you want to collect. So what are the other metrics that you could collect? Well, let me pull up my laptop. Okay, let's try mix effect. Set that to that, and there, that should be right. Okay, that looks like it's showing the right thing. Now, do I have... yeah, so in yeah, okay. Where am I? That's not what I want. That's not any good. Okay, here. So in the Llama CPP stuff that's in Ollama, there is a metrics endpoint. And I've set that to true, but I still don't get any metrics endpoint. So, hey, well, hello, Endo. Thank you for... I guess technically you're 8 minutes late. So are you on time? You're in time for before it ended. So yay. And then what was I doing? Oh, let's see. Oh, I got that running. Let's see. If I go to projects code, I think I was testing JSON code. I'll increase the font size. Oops. And what if I just do a console log of, the response. So let's do bun run index.ts. So these are the metrics that I get out of Ollama. I get total duration, load duration, prompt eval count, prompt eval duration, eval count, eval duration. And that's really it. If I do a Ollama PS, I get some information about what models are loaded. And actually I can do that from, let's just open up a new, I'll call it test.http. And I want to get a get of http ://localhost port 11434 /API metrics is there because I keep trying it and it doesn't work. API /PS. I think it's going to be that. Get rid of this extra stuff. And then I'll send that request. Oh, it's not. I thought I typed PS. I think it auto-corrected. Okay, so in PS, the PS endpoint, what I get also is that this is the list of models that are loaded. So it's got phi3, and if I run Ollama run Llama 3, I don't know if I've got multiple models enabled on this instance. I probably don't. So if I do this again, it's just going to show Llama 3 because I don't have that environment variable enabled. But there I can get a little bit more information about what is what's loaded right now, which is also interesting. How much VRAM is being used, I think. But what I ended up doing was if I go into Arc app, Datadog, I'll go into my Datadog account and go to metrics. I've got Ollama eval TPS. Let's see. Close those things up. I'll look at the last day, and I was getting whatever 67 tokens per second. But then I can do let's see, average by model, and if I go back here, I want to do this index, and I'll change phi3. Well, let's run phi3 by, and I'll do this a few times. Actually, I'll do test, because that'll just run it 100 times. Yes. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a what do we want, but first off, I want to see what can monitoring be done in Ollama. It doesn't make sense to ask the question of what do we want from the monitoring if there's no monitoring available. But yes, always start with like the business goals and all that before you start really nailing it down what you want to monitor. But is it even possible? Is this a question I should even bother asking? Okay, so I've just sent a bunch, and I should see that show up in the next few seconds or so. Okay, yeah, so I'm getting that. So I'm getting some metrics in here, and I showed what I'm seeing here, which is just all the metrics that I get out of at the end of the request. So that's pretty cool. And then if I change that to be Llama 3, let's get rid of the console log in there. Now, hopefully soon I see some metrics from Llama 3 also showing up on tokens per second, eval tokens per second. Yeah, there we go. So we got Phi and Llama. Somewhere Llama is. Well, maybe not yet. Maybe it'll take a little bit. Anyway, so that's kind of what I was hoping to do. And so as there are, I was hoping that something like Light LLM, there's this proxy that runs in front of Ollama and other AI models. I don't really see much value in using Light LLM in general, but I thought, well, okay, well, if they do monitoring, well, there finally is a benefit to Light LLM, but they don't do it. Or they do a little bit, or they do it to some weird platforms. I don't understand what they're doing. So that's disappointing. Anything showing up here? Not yet. I don't know what's going on there. Phi Vision. Cool. Yeah. Oh, you had a question, Endo. DBGPT. I don't know about DBGPT. DBGPT. AI native data app development framework with agentic workflow, expression language, and agents. Oh my goodness. Let me use as many words as possible to say what it is without telling you anything about what it is. An open source AI native data app development framework. Again, You didn't really say what you are. Oh, it's a GUI. Interesting. It is... Oh, with a little bit of monitoring in there. Cool. Looks like it's trying to do... I mean, there's a whole bunch of these out there. Oh, is it still active? Oh, yeah, okay, it's still active. The other one that I really like is Rivet. This is really neat. And it has the guy behind it already has an Ollama integration. Yeah, so I looked at the OpenLit. I was really disappointed because it's only somebody created a OpenLit plugin for Ollama, but it's only I want to say it's only Python. So yeah, I'll probably use that, but it's a bit limiting since it's only on one language. And there's OpenLit, and then there's another OpenTelemetry Ollama thing, which is on Python and JavaScript, but the JavaScript doesn't have Ollama, which is frustrating. So, but then again, these are both client only. So you have to write a client that uses this rather than anybody using whatever client they want to hit the Ollama server. That should all be monitored. And of course, going back to, I think, Miguel's point, other things that would be good to monitor aren't just like the metrics around running the models, but also how good are the results. That's probably an important thing to monitor somehow. I'm not sure how. Whether it's just a matter of how many of the thumbs up or thumbs down you get on the answer, maybe. So yeah, but yeah, OpenLit. Oh, I think OpenLit was the reason why I started going down this kind of rabbit hole, because if I go to Ollama.ai GitHub. I feel like there was a pretty recent PR around somebody trying to do documentation or an example on, yeah, here we go, this guy, OpenLit SDK. And I wanted to highlight that. And I guess I feel like maybe I should still do the video, focus on the client side stuff, and wish that there was a server side piece, perhaps potentially influencing the Ollama team to get their ass in gear and put in that metrics endpoint and actually have useful metrics in there. Check out Ragas for evaluating RAG pipelines. Ragas. Is that it? It's a framework that helps you evaluate your RAG pipelines. Cool. Get started. Oh, nice. And I know there's a number of observability tools. They've mentioned a few here. And I know, Datadog is trying to get into that game as well, or has been in that game for a while around OpenAI. And I haven't really looked at their dashboard recently. Requests, and these are not really efficacy or benefit of the models, but rather just how much are you using their service, and that's the only integration they have. I don't think I saw anything with other. Let's see what we're. If I go back into, I have too many windows open. Integrations, and they've got an AI ML section. Some of these I've never heard of, but I mean a lot of them I have. But I don't see. I mean, I see some of the vector databases, but I don't see any other AI providers. I definitely don't see anything like Ollama. So, Blender add-on for Blender, where I've used Ollama to set up. What? What? I need to know about this Blender add-on that uses Ollama. Message retracted. You can't like get me excited. I mean, because I love Blender. I've never been able to. I follow like. I don't know. I probably do a tutorial on how to get started with Blender every year, and I never never get beyond a simple box. Yeah, my chat disappeared for a second earlier too. There's some weird things going on about streaming on YouTube the last few days or a few weeks. You know, there was a stream I did last week, and I think I did it on a Friday, and it showed that it actually got published on Monday, and it showed how many views I got, but it was spread out over a week rather than that it was done on Friday. And so I let them know, and pretty quickly the stream date was updated to be Saturday, and so it within seconds of starting, I had 300 views. So it's all been weird stuff on YouTube streams. Yeah, weird things happening. I've definitely seen message retracted quite a bit. I don't know if that was by that user or... And I don't have any moderators, so there's no one who could be... I'm the only one, as far as I know. It's weird. Okay, what's the open telemetry thing for Lola called? For Lola? What's Lola? Lola. Oh, I need more details. What is Lola? This thing? Bioconductor? That's probably not what you mean. Locus overlap enrichment analysis? I have no idea what that is. Yeah, so that's what I was on the OpenLit. OpenLit. And there is a thing in here for Ollama, which was added a few weeks ago. I'm not sure what it's grabbing. It looks like they've... Yeah, I don't know what's I haven't had a chance to really look at it, but yeah. So has anyone on here experienced or have any experience with the metrics endpoint in Llama CPP that's in Ollama? Oh, and I should note, I I have to leave in about well, whenever I hear that garage door open, I gotta go. Today is my 5-year-old daughter's last day at preschool, pre-K, I think it is. I think next year she's in kindergarten, and I don't know. They're doing something. Again, I hope it's not like the whole cap and gown because she's not in high school. I don't like it when kids get cap and gowns for graduating 4th grade or whatever. 12th grade? You cross the aisle, great. You get the cap and gown, awesome. End of college, cap and gown, no problem. Any other time, doesn't make any sense. That said, if I see them in cap and gowns, I'll probably love it. But no, I shouldn't. Anyway, I did not know they existed. Yeah, so the thumbs up, thumbs down are in the Ollama or the Open Web UI and other UIs, but that's UI dependent and not something that's in Ollama. Again, there's no. It would be great if any monitoring were in the Ollama engine itself, and that way, no matter what UI, Open Web UI, anything LLM, Misty, whatever, monitoring all the stuff. And that's where the monitoring should be done. All these other little projects to get traces on a specific client are nice stopgap measures, but they're kind of not super useful. Does semantic kernel allow telemetry? I have no idea what that means. What do you mean, semantic kernel? What is that? Do you ever train neural networks? Me? No. Yeah, I'm sure she's going to have a great time. Cataclysmic Studios semantic kernel is just a client as well. Oh yeah, so if it's just a client, it's one client. Does it do metrics? Great, but I really want server side, and the only option I really have is, let's open up, make this bigger. If I go into .ollama logs, cat server, I think, server log. Actually, I really want to just do tail, but some stuff in the logs. But I see some information, but I don't see all the information. And I see, what am I trying to say there? I see a lot of good stuff in here. And, if I go into Datadog, not Apple, and I go into Logs Explorer, I am getting, that's not it. I want to look at not the last 5, where's the time? Past 15 minutes. Let's look at last 4 hours. Let's look at the last, maybe I turned stuff off. Last day. So I do have, actually no, that's this morning, I guess. So I'm seeing these logs here. When did I last use Witty? That's weird. And once I have the logs here, then yeah, I can go into here and pull some of these things out as facets, I think they're called, to turn them into metrics that get updated. Oh, my wife's calling. Hello.
Hey, just letting you know I'm on my way home to pick you up.
Okay.
And if you could, well, if I can grab enough time. I just need to gather up the salad, plates, napkins, but you also are wrapping yourself up. So,
Okay.
okay. See you. I should be home in 10 minutes.
Okay. Please share Blender with Ollama tutorial. Yeah, somebody mentioned Blender, and I think that would be really interesting. It's like in when I was at Datadog, we'd always do these hackathons, and one of the hackathons was using Minecraft to monitor as a front end for Datadog, which was bizarre. But I don't know of any Ollama Blender plugin. Can we expect agents from Ollama? I don't think so. It would be completely out of scope for Ollama to do agents. Maybe in 10 years or 5 years when Ollama is this big company doing really cool things and they've got a staff of like Datadog. It's when I started at Datadog we were 30, and when I left we were 5,000. So if they've got a team of 5,000, who knows? Maybe there'll be agents from Ollama, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Works only with Vulkan out of the box. Sure. And creating it's totally open source. If you want to fork it, great. Nope, go for it. Minecraft. Yeah. There were other front ends that basically did. I think there was like a DTOP that was basically using HTOP or kind of an HTOP like interface for stuff from Datadog, including all your Datadog dashboards. There were some neat things. Okay, I gotta go. My wife just called, said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. You better have your socks on. I don't have my socks on, so I gotta go. I got in trouble. Thanks so much. Yeah, even the dashboards. I even had a demo of dashboards running when I had a MacBook Pro with that display at the top. What was that thing called? The Touch Bar, which by the way was the most fantastic addition to have on a MacBook Pro. I'm so annoyed that they removed the Touch Bar, but anyway, I used to have Datadog dashboards in the Touch Bar, which was awesome. Okay, I gotta go. No silent moment. There was silence at the beginning when I couldn't figure out why my camera wasn't streaming. But no silence at the end. Okay. Yeah, I know. And instead they removed the touch bar. They added a HDMI port, which they didn't need to add. They added a dedicated power, which they didn't need. Drives me nuts. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, that was kind of silent at the beginning because audio was low. Okay, bye.